Welcome to the Vert.x Azure tutorial. Microsoft Azure is a cloud computing platform and infrastructure created by Microsoft for building, deploying and managing applications and services through a global network of Microsoft managed data centers. Vert.x is a polyglot reactive application framework that runs on a Java virtual machine. In this tutorial, we will build a hello world kind of application, a ping pong application to be more exact. We're using two nodes deployed on Azure. Each node will be a virtual machine, and the behavior of the application is quite simple. The ping will send a message with the content ping to the pong. The pong will print this message to the console and reply back with pong, and the ping will get this reply and print it also on the console. So let's get started. In order to start, we need to have virtual machines. So this is the typical entry point of Microsoft Azure portal. To create a new virtual machine, we would select virtual machines. We select add. And in this case, as you can see, you can pick as many kind of machines you want, including Linux. But we will use a already made appliance with a Java 8 by Microsoft. So we will search for JDK 8. There it is. And we say create this one. And we go through the basic configuration. We will say the name of this machine is the ping node. My username to log in into the machine, my password will be this. Resource group, I will need to say select one. There's a default one, and now say create. Now we need to define the size of our virtual machine. It's taking a bit of time. Well, in this case we have several options. Since Vert.x requirements are quite low, we can go with a smaller one. So we say standard, select. I will go for now with the default configurations. It's up to the developer or to the DevOps team to tweak it or tune it according to their needs, but I will just accept the defaults. Now I get the summary of the machine, ping node, okay. Well, the deployment of this machine has started, and I'll start the process of building a second one. So I'll say virtual machines, add. Again, the same procedure, JDK 8. Okay. Only one by Microsoft. It's fine. Okay. Well, this one I'll call pong node. I'll give you the same username, password. I'll select default. Okay. Again, the size, we'll go with a smaller one. Accept the default configuration. Okay. So far so good. Okay. Okay, two deployments have been started. So this will take a while, so let's quickly have a look at the code. So I'm gonna switch to my IDE. So this is the code that will run on the ping machine, so the ping vertical. What it's gonna do is, as I said, it will get a reference to the event bus, send a message to Azure table tennis address with a payload, JSON payload of value ping, and once reply is received, we will print out the reply in the terminal. Otherwise, we'll print the exception. And on the Pong machine, we will deploy the Pong vertical, which is doing pretty much the opposite. So it gets a reference to the event bus and consumes messages sent to Azure Table Tennis. Once a message arrives, prints out that message and replies with value Pong. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So since this will take a while, I will now pause the recording and resume once the machines are built. Now that our two virtual machines are up and running, we can deploy our application. I will not deploy using deployment tools such as Ansible or the like. I will do everything through the console and just by copying files, so you can get to know how things work. So first thing is that we need to connect to the machine. So as you can see, I have the ping node machine. If I click on it, I can see the details. So it's taking a bit of time. Basically, I am interested in finding out what's the public IP address so I can remotely connect to it. So here I can see that my public IP address is 41.148.9.168. So I'll do this. I'll do the same for the Pong machine. I'll retrieve the IP address. Well, I'm gonna cheat a bit. I have it already set up here on my remote terminal client. So I will connect to the ping node. Well, I need to put the login username I defined before. Okay. Connecting. Wrong password. Yes, connected. And I will do it again. I will do it again now for the Pong machine. See if I get it right this time. Yes, I got it right. So I'm logged in. So I am not going to go on the details of setting up a Windows machine, and I'm going to be quite lazy here. So what I'm going to do, because by default a Windows Server firewall, everything is blocked, I'm going to just turn off the firewall. This doesn't mean that your machine is vulnerable. It just means that inside Azure network you are probably vulnerable, but not from the outside world. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to here, control panel, and I'm going to do this because I need to allow socket communication between my machines, and I don't want to spend much time here with rules, which ports to allow, which ports to deny, in out rules. So I'm just going to do this for now. Okay, Pong node, I will do exactly the same. Control panel, system and security, firewall, turn on and off, off, okay, okay, both firewalls are disabled. So now I'm going to install the application on this machine. So for this I'm going to use a Windows Explorer. I mounted the my project folder as a network drive. So this is the Pong machine, so I'll go in the Pong target vet. I'm going to go and copy to C. Let's create here a new directory, new folder, Vert.x, copy there. the meantime, I'll do the same on this machine, on the ping, on the Azure, ping, target, Vetjar, copy to new folder. So what I've done, I just copy a plain Vert.x application to the machines. One thing you need to notice is that by default, the default cluster manager is Hazelcast, and Hazelcast is configured by default to search for nodes using multicast. Multicast is not enabled on Azure, and so we will need to change the configuration of the cluster manager. The configuration doesn't need to be bundled with your Vetjar. It can be external. So it means that my application will run either with the defaults or with a custom configuration. In the custom configuration, let me just show you what I have. So here I have a file called cluster.xml, and basically it's a plain copy paste of the default configuration with some small changes. One of the changes is that, well, I turn off multicast, and the second one is that I enable TCP/IP discovery, and then I notify that look in the network for these IPs 10.0.0.4 and 5. You guys might be thinking, why 4 and 5? Well, if I go back to my Azure portal, I pick one of the machines, for example the Pong node, and if I go to network interface, I see that this is my private IP address in 10.0.0.5, and the same will happen for the ping, will be 10.0.0.4. So you don't need to list here all the IP machines in your cluster. You just need to list a couple of them that you are sure that will exist when the application boots. Second step, an important one to know, is that you should also tell Hazelcast to form a cluster on the internal network, so on the 10.0.0 network. So here you should do this and enable it. And that's it. This is all the configuration you need to do for Azure to work. So you have this cluster file. I will switch back to the remote desktop. I will go again to my mounted shared folder. I will copy the etc directory to my Vert.x directory. There you go. I'll do exactly the same on this machine. So this PC, Azure, etc copy, C, Vert.x, paste. Now, since we have this custom configuration, we also need to have a custom start. So what you're going to do, I'm going here, going to change to the right directory. And make sure that everything is in place. Let's see. Yes. So what I need to do now is java -jar Azure pong vetjar. So this would be how you'd start it usually on a single node, but we need to load a custom configuration. So I need to add the entry to the class path. So -cp etc. And now I need to say, okay, enable the cluster, and I need to specify I want to use the internal network. This only happens because we have several interfaces on Azure. So we need to do cluster host is 10.0.0, which IP is the Pong. Let's go back to the console. So the Pong is 5.5. Okay. Now it should start. Okay, starting the cluster. Well, we see a couple of logging from Hazelcast reporting that it formed a cluster with one member. So far so good, we only deployed one node. And we have information that it succeeded deploying the vertical. So let's go to the ping machine and let's go and do the same. Switch to the right directory. And now java -jar Azure ping. Add the configuration to the class path. Turn on the cluster. Zero, 4. Turn on the right IP address. And let's see what happens. Starting. Hazelcast logging. Hazelcast formed a cluster with 2 members. More logging, and there you go, we got the message back. So this means that on the Pong side we got a ping, received the ping, and then we send back a Pong. So as you can see, ping pong between machines and Vert.x is very simple, and you don't need to recompile your application or do it differently if you were deploying, say, on Amazon Web Service or Web Cloud or your own data center or in any other platform. It just works. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. Well, see you next time. Bye bye.